The biggest surprise of the entire divisional round, the Washington Commanders managed to go into Detroit and put up 45 points against the Detroit Lions and bounce them out straight away.
Video game numbers.
It was an unbelievable performance from Jayden Daniels in this game. And the only thing that could prevent the Commanders' offense from doing anything was Brian Robinson stopping Marcus Mariota from doing that toss sweep to Jayden Daniels on that fourth down early on. Because aside from that, they had it all their way. Now, what I will say in this game is that there were times in which the Detroit Lions shot themselves in the foot multiple times, right?
Yeah.
So
100%.
Jared Goff, yes, he had 3 interceptions. Interception number 1, entirely his fault, right? He made the right read, but he made a bad throw. Because he threw it over, he sailed it over, right? Bad throw, that's on him. Interception number 2, it was a post route, obviously in a shortish field, and it seemed like the throw was all right, but the defender played it perfectly, right? The defender played that perfectly, and sometimes if the defense plays that perfectly, you've just got to put your hands up and say, no, but he's put the ball in the position where he wanted to put it, and the defender made a play. If you see how he made that play on that ball, he's made a great play. And the third interception, they're pushing for the game, they're down more than one score. If you're going to sit every passing lane, you're going to intercept the ball. They just dropped everyone back in interception. From a box score perspective. But I think the most egregious interception in this entire game is on Ben Johnson. They had the ball moving and they had some real momentum, and then they decided to do a reverse wide receiver pass with Jameson Williams, and he threw an interception. The play after getting 22 yards on a single down. Not only that, and then they kept him, David Montgomery still got a knee injury. And Jahmyr Gibbs was absolutely Jahmyr Gibbs went 14 touches. 20 touches, but 14 for 105 and 2 touchdowns.
He's hot.
And there were still carries. I love David Montgomery, but
they need to understand they drafted Jahmyr Gibbs
for a reason.
Stop poaching carries from Jahmyr Gibbs.
But when he's not fully healthy,
when
he's fully healthy, it makes sense because obviously yin and yang, it works. But when he's not fully healthy, it doesn't work as much. And Jahmyr was amazing in this game. He was everything that you needed him to be. But I think the key factor, despite all of us talking about the offensive side from the Detroit Lions, a key factor in this one was the Detroit Lions had nobody left on defense. Nothing. Commanders could do what they want at will because the injury crisis, them losing Hutchinson early in the season, and a big one is them losing Aleem McNeil, right? They lost that guy on to block up, to stop the run. And that meant the Commanders could do what they wanted. They could run the ball, they could pass the ball, and they did just that.
I mean, I'm looking down on really just one thing here. If you have a look at the score, if you look at the numbers from Detroit, if you were just to watch this game and not look at the INTs and look at how they performed, Jared Goff went for 313. It's only one touchdown, but he was slinging it. His receivers were able to eat. Amon-Ra, 137 off 8 receptions. That's pretty explosive. Jared Goff just picked the worst time to have the worst game of the season from him.
Wait, he didn't have his worst game of the season because
I
he threw
would
more
say-
interceptions earlier on in the season.
I would say it happened in the
At the end of the
playoffs,
day,
in a pivotal moment.
So
This is the worst time to have one of your. I'd probably say joint. If you take into account the situation, you don't want a game like this because even if he throws one INT, they might walk out of here with a win. You know, but shout out to the Commanders. Jayden Daniels continues to impress. 299 yards, 2 touchdowns. Brian Robinson was able to run the ball 77 yards, 2 touchdowns on the ground. He was throwing the rock through the air. Didn't really have any favorites. Terry McLaurin, 87 yards. De'Ami Brown,
You've got
98.
like
So he's sharing the load.
they're spreading it out. And then Zach Ertz coming in, right? And Zach Ertz just
that's not foreboding. Former Eagle, that would make the icing on his season. You know, if he gets another trip, I don't know. But yeah, Jayden Daniels is really surprised people this season because we knew he was good. We just didn't know.
And he had that little blip in the middle of the season where, as tape started to come out, the offense started to not being able to do stuff, right?
Yeah.
Now, obviously the difference is going to be next week is the Eagles have a defense. They actually have people fit.
Yeah.
They have people who are healthy. The Lions had next to nobody left. They were so threadbare.
Absolutely.
They were so threadbare that I'm not going to take it away from you. You can only beat who's in front of you, right?
Yeah.
But it's an absolute shame for the Lions that it's happened this way. That they've
Would you say Dan Campbell's physical approach to the season?
No. It's just what happens. Sometimes it happens, right?
I understand, but that last
happens,
season in a meaningless game, he played the starters. You know,
yeah, but the injuries had already happened before this point.
Occurred.
Yeah.
I don't think it's about that. I think, in my opinion, like you were saying earlier, you were alluding to earlier, that Ben Johnson also kind of played a role into them losing this game. You know, by being a bit more pass happy than the run. What I sometimes don't get about offensive coordinators is Jahmyr Gibbs was killing this game. 40 carries, 105 yards, 7.5 yards per carry. Keep running the football. There's
until they take it away
40 times in this game.
After he threw it second,
I would take it away because the run game was working.
Yeah.
Yes, David Montgomery was getting 4 yards a clip, but bank David Montgomery a little bit, keep mixing the run in and shorten the game. Because one of the ways you can shorten a game, yes, I know you're falling behind a bit, but keep running the football. If it's working, it's working. Like the game that we're gonna talk about after, it was the run game that got them the victory. They realized, okay, Jahmyr Gibbs is one of those runners that he pop here, he can break off a big run, just like that.
Well,
so
he's got
also played a part
serious speed, right? He's got serious speed. Jameson Williams has got they've got the tool. It's just realistically, you can't let the opponent score 45 points and win a game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
right?
Especially in the playoffs. No, there's no chance.
Just you're not going to be able to. I don't. What was the score in that Andrew Luck versus the Chiefs?
Well, in that AFC Championship game, I think it was a blowout for the Chiefs, wasn't it?
No, 45-44. He led them to a 45-44. Colts were down 38-10, and he brought it back to 45-44. So 45 was a winning score there. So even that.
Yeah, but by the time he brought him back, the game was done.
He won the game. I'm talking about the game he won in the 13 playoffs.
Did Luck win that game?
You remember the one where he had the
the
immaculate
at that time, so.
The immaculate touchdown where he,
yeah. Well, they had Alex Smith, so
yeah, but if you're going to like, unfortunately, they had nobody left, and the Commanders were able to take care of the football and take them to the promised land.
I mean, shout out to Jayden Daniels, man. I mean, I think he's one of the few rookie QBs that's made it all the way to the championship game, makes it to the Super Bowl. I think no rookie quarterbacks have ever won the Super Bowl, but if he does it, hey, he's in the history books, and that alone could get him into the Hall of Fame when it's all said and done. Just being the first rookie QB to win a Super Bowl, so he certainly has a chance. He certainly can do it, but hey. Let's see.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting next week to see what he manages to do. We're going to talk about that game obviously later on in the week, but let's actually see.